Sports Cash crew, welcome back to another week episode. It's your host, Mr. ESPN. I'm here with my other hosts. We got KD, we got Kens, and we got Mr. Mo Better. How y'all doing, fellas? Happy New Year.
I just want you to know that Candy Kens at the chocolate bar is doing extra great.
We all know why.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we
Mr.
are.
Mo Better.
We are into a new year. Happy New Year to everyone. We are officially in 2023. But we still got a lot of sports that's got to be played. We had a great weekend.
Yes,
Let's start Saturday. Michigan, TCU.
Interesting. Fun.
The whole country was going for the Wolverines, but everybody in Texas was going for TCU. What happened, fellas? I think this was the biggest upset of the weekend, to be honest with you.
Listen.
For sure. Go ahead, Ken. I see it. I see
No. Because I was at a birthday party while I was watching the game, and I expected it to be competitive throughout, and it just seemed like TC was like, man, they talking about, boy, we here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, after the first quarter, I was like, oh, let me go pay attention to my goddaughter, because it didn't seem like it was going to be as competitive as what I expected. And I don't know if Harbaugh just got caught slipping, or if I don't watch these teams a whole heap because I follow champions. I don't know if it's just talent isn't there or whatever, but it just doesn't. I don't know, man. I hurt for Harbaugh though, because I was really pulling for Michigan. I wanted Michigan to win in the depths of me, but TCU. They came with it. They brought the noise, and it was fun. I think it got competitive around the third quarter, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And Michigan started putting up some points, but it was just like TCU was like, all right, shut them boys up, man. Let's pack them up. So it was a fun game, you know what I'm saying? Michigan made it look closer than what it really was towards the end of the game. All you can do is enjoy it, man. Hey, TCU, y'all go ahead and do what y'all gotta do. When the time comes. Y'all go ahead, though. Let's go ahead.
Who knows what happened?
Jig, you had something?
Nah, just to piggyback off what Ken said, man, like Michigan just looked bad. It wasn't the Michigan that everybody expected. I thought it was gonna be a easy win for Michigan. Even though TCU does have a tough team, they do have some dogs on their team. Nobody knows any of the players, probably except the quarterback, and I can't even remember his name right now, but I know he's good, and he has a lot of
starts with an H. Go ahead.
But
a second.
Yeah, so they came out there, and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna put the team on my back today, and we're gonna get this dub, and we're gonna meet somebody in the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, first question before I start. Nobody's going to say that bomb that Michigan threw was not a touchdown?
You know what? I get the idea of that rule, but I don't like it. I do feel like
the rule, they need to change that, because if that's NFL, that's a touchdown.
Because nobody touched him. He wasn't forced down. It was of his own volition.
Knee down, rolled into the end zone.
Yeah. And it's like, when is a catch completed? You know what I'm saying? Which is something that came into the situation. Like, I'm looking at it and I'm like,
no. It was a complete catch.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
He was down.
When do you say the catch is completed? You know what I'm saying? Like, does he has to maintain, right? He has to maintain it through the ground. So is it completed when his butt touches, when his knee touches, or is it completed when he shows that he's maintained it through the ground? You know what I'm saying? In my mind, you're right. That's a touchdown. I thought that was kind of I ain't like it, but I mean, I feel like maybe had that, because then what happens right afterwards? They turn the ball over, fumble on a run play.
Half-yard line, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
half.
And that they just really, they took it from there and beam boop.
Beam boop.
That's it.
Yeah. Really, we just need to say what's the obvious. TCU just let them things hang. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
They just wasn't taking no. Clip that up.
Right.
They just let them things hang. Look. You can tell when a coach makes his players feel confident that they can win a game. And that's really the biggest difference. I mean, TCU was good last year. They were good the year before. They always been good and around the conversation, but they never could punch their ticket. Well, now they have a system and a coach that knows what it takes to win. And one thing I noticed, I don't know a lot about TCU, but one thing I noticed, the coach name is always on everybody else's coach's mouth, like always giving him props. So he know what he's doing. And clearly he earned the beatdown that's coming.
Right.
And this is his first year at TCU.
I'm 51-40. Hey, listen, they what? Because I want to say Michigan was scoreless in the first half, wasn't it? I know they were scoreless in the first. That 7 points could have goddamn swung the game a little bit, but it's like to have that drive end up scoreless, and if they weren't scoreless in the second, they probably only had a touchdown. Like they was battling from the bottom the whole time after that catch. Or lack of
Sonny Dykes. Sonny Dykes. That's his name.
So, two things. I agree with what you said. This is why I feel like that play was the shifting point. Michigan could never get their offense going that whole game, especially in that first half. They were struggling to get some, big plays. They finally get the bomb, but the biggest thing about that bomb was it just came off a pick.
Yeah.
So if they score here, they just got the pick. Now they're only down by 4. The momentum is all on your side now, right? If we watch the drive, they forced a 3 and out. So if they had let that touchdown ride, this whole game is all in Michigan's favor. Because Michigan they were taking blows, but truth be told, Michigan was giving their blows back in the second half.
Right.
Here's the biggest thing that TCU played in their favor. When the scouts are in the room, TCU boys can play. And there was one player in specific that stood out to me, which, to me, his draft stock went from here to here. Number 98 defensive end.
Yeah.
6 total tackles, 5 solo, 1 assist, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble. That's where the game was.
We're talking about on TCU side?
TCU, yes. Mr. Dylan Horton. That was the difference right there. If you watch the game, he made sure McCarthy did not get comfortable in that pocket at all.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't get the ball off, couldn't run plays. And you could tell Jim Harbaugh was trying to do, come on, you're going to give it to your fullback on the half-yard line? Really? And fumble it? The guy only touched the ball 7 times the whole season? You're going to put the ball in his hands when you're trying to gain momentum and try to win the championship?
Guys try to sneak one in. You know what I'm saying? This is when you pull out all the stops.
You know what this feel like? This feel like Seahawks Patriots when Russell Wilson tried to throw it on the 1-yard line when you had beast mode in the back.
But this is the exact opposite. They didn't try to pass it. They tried to run it in.
Yeah, but you try to give it to somebody that touched the ball 7 times the whole season.
Hey man, it was gonna be his moment. He was gonna shine.
It was his moment, but he did not shine. So when you look at it, shout out to TCU. Like KD said, their balls hang and they showed up when the lights were bright. And
Madisano? I didn't say that.
But Michigan did not show up. This was not the Michigan team that played against Ohio State in December. This was not the Michigan team that had been undefeated all year.
Who you said real quick?
Oh man.
You heard what I said.
Oh,
and
didn't they play this weekend?
And this is going to be the Michigan team that's going home. But now,
why is zooming on your face like that?
To the game of the night.
Game of the night.
Ohio State.
The game of the year.
That might have been game of the year.
Yeah, that might have been game of the year for real. You know what? I'll be honest with y'all. Even though, as everybody know, if you've been following the show, I'm a big Ohio State fan. I'm not upset.
What?
I'm not.
And the only reason I'm not upset is because C.J. Stroud played phenomenal.
He played really good. Boy.
4 touchdowns, over 300 yards passing, no turnovers.
Yep.
And I'm gonna say this:
a real deal.
I couldn't ask for nothing else.
In contrast, Stetson Bennett played.
He played okay.
He didn't play a great game. He had a turnover. He had some miscues that were like, what's going on, big fella? You know what I'm saying? He really picked it up in the fourth. I feel like the fourth quarter where it really was like, hey, bro, game is on the line. I was at another party, somebody else's birthday party, but we was watching on the phones like, you know what's going on? And it was, listen, sweating. Yeah, I was down the street from the stadium, sweating every 3 minutes. What happened? What's going on? What's next? You know what I'm saying? And we were down. UGA was down bad. And it was like they couldn't get it together. They couldn't string nothing together. And I was like, damn. Then I come back after, 2 drinks, 2 dances. I said, oh, we back in this. Let me keep rubbing on these cheeks over here. Send these good vibes to my boys down the street. Do it again.
It worked.
Listen, I just want to say, shout out UGA, man. Ohio played a great game. Marvin Harrison
is a
dog. Hold on. Say that again, Kens.
Yeah.
Say that one more time.
Marvin Harrison Jr. He fine.
Thank you. That's all.
He fine.
Well, that's not a debate.
Best receiver in college football.
Yes, he is.
Yes,
best receiver in college football. By the way,
that dude.
That was targeting on UGA, but we ain't gonna say nothing.
I was just about to say that, but no. It was not targeted. How was it targeted? He didn't even hit him with his head. It was all shoulder.
The launch.
You can't launch yourself.
That's fine.
You can't launch yourself in college football.
But it does have to be both. It has to be the launch and the crown of the helmet. So.
Right. But we gotta say, once Marvin Harrison got out, guess what happened?
That was the turning
shift.
It changed the momentum. It changed everything.
But so let's not act like Ohio State didn't go up 14 or so points and UGA came back before
they did.
Marvin Harrison went out again.
You right. And we called it. Me and you called it.
It did help though, because had he stayed in the game, I believe Ohio State wins the game because he was eating. Them DBs had no answer for him. UGA had no answer for him. Well, they did have an answer for him. Take him out the game, and that's what they did.
Bro, my man had 5 receptions, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. 5 receptions
in the first quarter. I think that was the first quarter, bro.
That man was eating, dog. I told everybody, I was like, look, if anything happens, y'all let my boy Marvin Harrison Jr. go crazy. He gonna go crazy.
He was just eating. That first drive, I was like, is the safety not over top? What's going on?
It don't matter. Safety, corner, you could put Jalen Ramsey out there. I don't care. Mm-hmm. He's the best receiver in college football right now.
You're doing too much,
man. But quiet is kept. Stetson Bennett threw for 398 yards.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns. Well, 200 of it was in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I was about to say, he had to throw the ball.
So that's what I was going to bring up. Man, looking at the counting stats, if you were just you didn't watch the game, you look at the box score, it looks like a collapse because Ohio State only scored 3 points in the fourth quarter, and Georgia just stormed back. This is a classic for the ages. I'm gonna rewatch this with my kid.
And then the icing for me personally, the icing on all the cakes. You know what I'm saying? Okay. As the peach was dropping in downtown Atlanta for the first time in 6 years. You know what I'm saying? We're counting down 5, 4, 3. And for some oddly strange universal way, the clock is counting down on this Ohio UGA game. And Ohio was out there to kick a field goal. Score is 41-42. I thought, I'm not going to lie to you. I went back to the party. I said, I gotta go touch them cheeks again. I gotta go find them cheeks. And I gotta rub on them cheeks. And we going, whoo, you know what I'm saying? I came back 2 minutes later.
And the football gods was on my side.
Bruh.
You want to know where the game was won? Let me just read this out. 4.8, 2.8, 4.7, 2.7, 3.0. That's the average yards that the running backs for Ohio State got. Mm-hmm. Let me give you Georgia. 14.0, 17.2, 8.7, 1.0, and negative 2.6. All right, so that's and Brock Bowers. But those 3 backs did their job. And before that, because they will, if you ask these running backs how is the game? Blah, blah, blah. You know what they all gonna say? Them hogs in the middle. The game is won at the line.
Trenches, yeah.
And one thing that people are forgetting about Georgia and seeing, like, they have a real player as a coach. He was a real dog. He understands how to win football games. And it's nice to have all these wide receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr., CJ Stroud, all that cool. But he's proving that you win the game in the trenches. You get 5 stars on the line, because in the NFL, that's how it's won as well. Ask the Eagles. The Eagles know this very well. Lane Johnson is out, and suddenly they look like they can't win a freaking game. Don't get me started. The same thing for the Dolphins. I mean, so you got to get them big hogs to block and to push for you.
Kansas City played the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and your boy Patrick Mahomes was down 3 starting offensive linemen, and he ran for his dear life.
You gotta have the hogs, man. You gotta have the big guys, and that's how they recruit. But even if you're looking at recruiting now, you're like, man, I don't see that they're getting any 5 stars. But then they got 6'8", 395-pound Uncle Men coming out of high school. And they're like, I ain't played football but 1 year, buddy. So they got all these 8-mile looking,
putting them to the side, opening lanes,
and
pancakes.
Pick a gap, big fella.
Right. And before you go, Fly, I was telling somebody the other day, they were like, I was telling them, I said, look, if Georgia would have stayed in the game like early, they really just could have ran the ball the whole game. Y'all would have had no answer for it.
Yep.
No, 14 yards per carry.
Number 30, I was like, why are you throwing the ball? I wouldn't even thrown the ball the whole game. It would have been run. Your defense would have been kaputs. but shout out to CJ for moving in the pocket. Because remember, I said what is gonna get him is them having to touch him, and he was dodging them motherfuckers like crazy. I was like, yo, it was so many times they were so close to him. I was like, yo, and he was moving and he was dimes out there.
Look, he made a business decision. He going number 1. He trying to stay up and clean and pretty.
I definitely agree. CJ's draft stock definitely rose after that game. Even he lost, it rose. Smart
CJ to the Texans.
All the running backs for UGA rose. Stetson, it stayed the same.
Yeah, this is his peak right here.
Yeah,
he may make it to the NFL, but he's not going to do nothing. Just like most of the UGA quarterbacks, they'll be like a backup and then wash out the league or something like that.
Absolutely.
Jake Fromm.
Yeah. So now, unfortunately, we know who the national championship is going to be. It's going to be TCU versus UGA.
Oh, no, unfortunately.
Well, let's be real. The whole country wanted to see a Michigan-Ohio State.
Nah,
I don't know about the whole country. Just you.
Yeah.
Nah. I didn't want to see that.
What's better? TCU versus UGA, Ohio State versus Michigan.
I wanted UGA versus Michigan.
UGA versus Michigan.
That would
have been easy money.
I'm not gonna lie to you. After what I just saw Michigan did against TCU, I said I don't want to see that.
That's after the fact. I want to see that. When the anticipation was there, that's different. After the fact,
after the fact, you're right.
Michigan didn't belong in this dance, like from what we saw. But
let's be honest. The Bulldogs versus the Buckeyes, that was the championship game. I mean, that was incredible. If that was a championship game, I would have paid good money to be in that house.
Look.
Oh, the ticket was high.
Yep. And we said it. We was like, look, most UGA fans was like, yo, we did not want to see Ohio State. And that's who they gave us first. And I was like, look, whoever wins this game wins the championship, and I'm still standing on that.
I stand on that too. So that means 2. Are we? Is it unanimous that we?
I'm expecting to go to a parade and to Sanford Stadium and chill out for a weekend in Athens. That's
we in the city.
It sounds like a plan. Are we predicting score? Are we saying UGA by a touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 3 maybe?
You want the honest truth?
Okay.
TCU in trouble.
Ooh, talking spicy.
Mo better stamp.
And just from what I'm seeing, they okay receivers, okay everything. We just too good. UGA's just too good.
Thank you. That TCU offense is not what people.
It's not.
It's that defense that really kept them in that game. That offense.
All year long, we've been hearing about, will they have an edge? Will they come back hungry? And this team looks like they never won a game, every single game. And again, we talk about head coaches. Head coaches, and Dub, if Dub was here, he would refute me on this. But you got to give some credit, especially in a college game. Those kids will take on what their leader, how the leader acts.
Yeah.
And he is voracious. He is never satisfied, and he gets in your face. He's always trying to
he did
really kill something.
He did that with Stetson. He grabbed him and said, "Hey, look here, boy. What?"
He has high expectations. He is Nick Saban, a fiery Nick Saban.
Exactly. And I don't know if y'all peeped after the game was over. I don't want to keep this topic going because I know it's hurting Vlad's heart. But after the game, he didn't crack one smile.
Why he's not satisfied.
He's not satisfied. He was mad at the score, number one. He was like, yo, we messed up in a lot of places.
Yeah, he barely they let him off the hook.
Yep.
Because I'll tell you that, if Ohio State got one more first down, we might be talking about a different scenario right now.
That's a fact.
Man, Ohio State had some wind gushing to the right, to the west of Atlanta. Like, damn.
Hey, listen, there's some lungs that's still hurting in Ohio State fans.
Hey, y'all see what I'm sipping on.
Big.
Poor job.
Let's go to the pro leagues. Let's go to the NFL. I know we're 2 weeks away from some really good football, but unfortunately this week, Monday night, we had some horrific, unforeseen circumstance. Less than 5 minutes into the game, Bill's safety, Damar Hamlin, unfortunately, freak accident, makes a tackle on T. Higgins and has a cardiac arrest. I know for all of us, we've probably seen over 100 football games, whether high school, college football, or pros. And I'll be honest with you, I've seen some freak injuries. I've seen some freak, stuff on the football field, but this one was completely like, what in the world just happened?
Unbelievable.
For those that haven't seen it, you can YouTube it or not, but this recap, he made a simple regular tackle, nothing too crazy, got up, 2 seconds left, just completely dropped on the floor, spent about 25 minutes on the floor. Ambulance got on the field, try to revive him.
Several doctors out there.
Yeah, several doctors out there. Thank God for CPR.
Right.
But according to what I've heard, up to now, his levels are up to vital, but he's still obviously not all the way conscious. He's still breathing on the tube. So obviously praise out to him and his family. Right. But with that being said, I think this is a perfect opportunity, because this, as we do on this platform, we do talk about the business side of sports. And obviously, we don't want to just elaborate on money during a tragic situation like this, but it is important, because we do have players that's fighting for big contracts even this year that's injured. So fellas, with that being said, let's start off with this. As a pro athlete, which none of us are, when you see situations like this, and I know, at this time we're not, maybe football is not the main focus right now, but when you see injuries like this and you see these players fighting for that contract, do we say this is one of those things why they push so hard and why they put these, strict things in their contracts for situations like this?
I saw a clip that my wife sent to me, actually, that of a guy. I'm not really sure what show it was on, but he was talking about the healthcare and after players retire or when they leave the league. Mm-hmm. And he was irate, man. He was upset because this is the reason why NFL contracts should be guaranteed above any sport. This is the reason why, because he broke it down. He made 160 something thousand, 165, I believe, was his bonus. He was going to make 800 something over this year. And if he doesn't play another down, he doesn't get any more money. It's done. It's over with. If he can't walk, if he has to, all of that is on his shoulders now. What you going to tell the parents? Right. What you going to tell his mom and dad? This is something that's serious. It's one of the things that you're like, it had to happen. This is not the way that you want it to happen as far as the conversation, But this is the worst thing to happen to the NFL in a long time. Probably since Junior Seau was found with a gun in his hand and a bullet in his brain. And a note saying, check me out to see what's wrong with my brain. That was one of the worst moments for the NFL. Right. That, as well as the doctor, I can't remember his name, the concussion doctor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So people are trying to sweep this under the rug by just saying thoughts and prayers for Damar Hamlin. But the real conversation after we pray and make sure that he's okay is, how can we make sure that he's okay from the NFL? Because the NFL needs to show up. And I think that's the reason why they ended up calling off the game, because they knew the optics of this. They knew the conversations that were coming. They had to jump on it. Mm-hmm. But, man, Roger Goodell is deep in it right now. This is going to be a bombshell. For real.
And the crazy thing is, likely, he might have had, maybe something going on already, because it's a cardiac arrest. I mean, it could have just been the impact, because it was the collision, two forces colliding into each other, and it looked like he took it all in the sternum. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I saw the clip. I didn't see it live. I had to look it up afterward. I felt dirty looking up for it, but it looked like.
Not to cut you off, since you didn't see the live, let me just give you an update. He got up as soon as the tackle was done.
No, I saw that.
So it wasn't like he just laid on the floor as soon as the tackle was done. Yeah. That's the part, I think, that got the whole country shook.
No, he stood up.
He stood up fine. Like immediately after the tackle was done, he got up fine, and he just collapsed. But
and then it looked like he might have also hit his head when he collapsed backwards, which could have, added to the situation. It's just like Kendrick was saying, man, definitely their contract should be guaranteed. There shouldn't be this whole concept of partial guarantees. You know what I'm saying? 20 million guaranteed out of 100 is crazy. Maybe they should be arguing 10%, 90% guaranteed, and they could debate about that 10%. But these guys are putting their lives on the line. This is a gladiator sport, and this is regular. These guys are throwing their brains at each other. You know what I'm saying? They're throwing muscles at each other repeatedly for 60 minutes, 17 times. It used to be just 16 times, not 17 times. Plus the
playoffs.
About it.
Plus practice. Plus,
you know what I'm saying?
Plus any camps. Plus all that stuff.
OTA.
Think about this, guys. The NBA over this past holiday weekend was joyous about 2-point-something million views. Do you know how much the Miami Dolphins and the Green Bay Packers had? 20 plus. There's no reason why they shouldn't be guaranteed contracts, because these owners are making the same amount of money, and nobody wants to say it, but it's looking a hella slavery-ish out here.
Well, here's I think the biggest issue from the owner standpoint of why they don't want to guarantee it. And we've seen this several times. What's the most pivotal position on the football field?
Quarterback.
All right. So, perfect example. Let's use somebody like Lamar Jackson. We all love him. He's great. Great athlete. If tomorrow Baltimore says, Lamar, we want to pay you now $350 million. Great. Everybody, hooray. Lamar got his bag. And the very next week, Lamar has a freak, ACL injury, and Lamar Jackson's never Lamar Jackson again. I just paid you $350 million guaranteed. And
I'm not all at once, though.
No, I understand that.
They figure out a way to prorate that out and spread it over the next 15 years to get that management.
And which I'm agreeing on you guys' standpoint. But I think the biggest issue, which I think the NFL should definitely fix is, okay, this sport is 100% injury. It's not injury proof.
Right.
There's 100% chance you're going to get hurt or have some, nick tacks, whatever. There need to be something in these contracts to say, if you get injured, maybe you don't get your whole guarantee or you don't get your contract, but you still get a percentage.
No, man. No.
Or we should guarantee up to this point. Now, if you, obviously, if you get injured on your own time, that's different. But if you get injured on this field, you're guaranteed up your contract.
Let me ask you something. Do we look at LeBron's contract the same way as we look at
Tom Brady?
No, I'm talking about in the NBA. We're on the same team. Wayne Gabriel. We don't look at it the same, but they're both guaranteed. Okay.
Right.
So it's just smaller amounts. They have enough money. This is not even like an if. They have enough money. The NFL is a global war machine. They have enough money in the war chest to pay these guys and secure their future. They just don't want to.
More money.
I
Yes.
agree.
They got games
20
in
million
Mexico.
on one game?
Games
20
in UK.
million.
Yeah.
Come
They
on,
do.
man.
They do have the money. I would say that they do have.
They have the money. They just don't want to do the right
how
thing.
about
the
this?
concept that they greedy. That's
How
all
about
it is.
this?
They greedy.
And obviously, we can talk more and more. And I'm just going to end it with this: should they guarantee the contracts and just not guarantee the incentive?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be ways for them to come up with it, but even if they didn't guarantee the contracts and guarantee that these gladiators, these warriors, are who's putting their body on the line every week, if they guarantee health care in perpetuity until the end of their lives, that's something. But they just don't want to take care of broken individuals. They don't want to if you're not producing for me, again, I say slavery-ish, but if you're not producing for me, you are no use to me. And so you can't even stand up to the NFL. You get blacklisted.
Incentives aren't guaranteed anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to get them 17 tackles to get that money. You have to get your
but I'm saying those incentives are usually why people go out and play hurt, because they're like, yo, I'm one tackle, I'm one catch, I'm one touchdown, whatever away from my next bonus. Or, I mean, just think about it. I did the math, and I don't want to stay on this subject long. If you're a receiver and you fight for 1 extra yard every play, let's say you touch the ball about 10 to 15 times a game. That is the difference between a 800-yard season and a 1,200-yard season. So if you're somebody that has a lucky 10-year career, that's the difference between you having a 10-year career of 1,000-yard seasons every year like Mike Evans, or you possibly having 800 here, 1,000 here, 900 there, and whatever. And we all know, one of the criteria for receivers is
1,000-yard seasons.
1,000-yard seasons. So before we go any further, obviously, we still have to wait for what happens with the NFL. Hopefully, Mr. Hamlin comes back to health.
Praying for health, man.
But we'll definitely be touching back on this subject very soon. But before we wrap it up, it is week 18. We are, I believe, 1 week away from the NFL playoffs. So we do have to do our weekly picks for the week. We will be starting with the Saturday night game. Once again, we have Saturday night games this week. We have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Las Vegas Raiders and Las Vegas. Who do we have, fellas?
It just depends on if Kansas City decides to play. Some people go into the rest or rust. I think Kansas City plays their guys. They see what they got going into the half, and then Kansas City should win this game. It really doesn't matter whether they win or lose right now. I mean, I guess because going back to the Bills Bengals game, like it's a weird 1, 2, 3 seed thing going on right now. The NFL has to figure that out. So this game could matter. It could not matter. We won't know till going into further into the week. But everything on the board, Kansas City.
Okay.
Yep. I got Kansas City.
KC, Jake.
Yeah.
KC.
Kansas City.
I got KC also too, but KC should
follower
just to make sure they secure that number 1 seed. Especially Buffalo not playing this past week. Second game for the Saturday night game. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Tennessee Titans in Jacksonville.
For the division.
I got the Jags. Give me the Jags.
Put your money on Sunshine.
We got Sunshine.
Yes,
sir. Money on Sunshine.
We got Duval.
They tasted some success. I think they keep it rolling.
Hey, man. I like what Jacksonville's doing. Sunshine got weapons now. You can tell it's a whole offense. He's throwing that thing, ain't he, Ken?
Throw that thing, boy. Throw that thing.
Tennessee.
Sunshine is about to not have to remember the Titans ever again.
Right.
Good one.
That's a good one right there.
I kind of like Jacksonville. I think they're on a little hot streak right now. But I got Jacksonville also. I like what they got going on.
The Titans have just been floundering for weeks.
Hey, King Henry been carrying them for too long.
They have no offense.
That's true.
They're stale right now.
Yeah.
It's over. It's over.
Yeah, it's over. Just shut it down for the year.
I agree.
Go ahead and let the young bull shine.
Next matchup, America's Game of the Week, 425 game. We have a division game. Very important game. We have the New York Giants versus my faithful Philadelphia Eagles in Philly.
You want to go first, or should I go first?
Well, I'll go first. I hope Jalen plays because I need to lock up that number 1 seed. We've been playing a little BS for the past.
He's gonna play. He's gonna play.
And the Giants secured, so y'all can go ahead and rush our players. Let us get this W so we can get moving. But I got the Eagles. It's a division game. I'm not gonna say it's a blowout. I'll do 28-17.
Wow, you even giving us it. Oh wow, okay.
Giving us
If
17.
Jalen plays.
I appreciate that. It depends. if our starters play, and y'all starters play, I'm gonna pick the Giants with the upset.
And so we're gonna lose the number 1 seed in the division? Wow.
Yeah,
and
y'all only lose the number 1 seed if Dallas wins.
Right. And we're not worried about that.
Yeah, we're not worried about that. Dallas
no.
Yeah.
They'll lose their number 1 seed because you forgot Shanahan,
the Vikings,
49ers.
Oh, that's right.
That's true.
That's
well,
right.
well, Dallas will get the
Brock
division,
Purdy.
but Dallas has to play the Commanders, so they can lose that game too. So we'll have to see.
Man, let me just rip the Band-Aid off. I got the Eagles by 3 touchdowns.
Bam.
Whoa.
No, why? Because AJ Brown.
If Jalen Hurts plays, which he is going to play, you don't even have to worry about. He's going to play. They're not playing games with the Giants. They will be midgets by the time this is over.
Ooh, Giants do fall.
Listen,
I know y'all seen the snow angel last week next to the dead body. It's gonna be another one. Y'all keep talking.
I knew it was coming.
I knew it. All right, so
y'all need him. Y'all better sit that boy down.
And we do.
They're not gonna be able to keep him off the field.
I'm gonna quietly say that
be careful.
Your boy Jalen's not gonna play, and the Eagles are gonna win. That's what I'm going with.
What?
Yeah.
All right, but to tell the truth, I hope we don't play nobody. I don't care who wins, but I hope
Save them up.
I hope
Save
we
them up.
it down because we need people to play in the playoffs.
I agree. And last game, Sunday night, we have the Lions versus the Packers.
Ooh, another one.
Another good division game.
A barn burner.
But I'm sorry, it's hard to go against him. I think he's really trying to make a push.
Bad man.
My boy, Aaron Rodgers.
At home.
But I don't think it's going to be as easy as people think.
Nah.
Like me and Jake said about 2 weeks ago, Detroit Lions, they here, and y'all better watch out for them next year.
Yo, what's
I got
that? Listen.
over 40 points scored in this game cumulative.
Hold on, real quick. What's God dang it? What's the little cornerback's name from Green Bay?
Jair
Alexander.
Listen. I love defense, and I love seeing dogs on defense. I'm going with the Packers just because of him. That man said, "Hey, you tell Shannon and Skip learn about me before they say something about me next time." That kid right there, man, that is something I think the Packers have been missing for over a decade. Is
like
dogs on defense, a defense in general, but having dogs on defense, niggas on defense. That's like, hey man, you can go get 12,000 this season, but you ain't getting 100 here.
Right.
And with that, guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in. That's our Week 18 picks. Definitely tune in with us next week while we get ready for this NFL playoffs. And again, praise out to Damar Hamlin and the rest of his family. We'll catch y'all next week. We out.
Peace.
Yeah, man.